Hey lovelies, I'm back to finish the video that I was shooting just a minute ago. Well, it's been longer than a minute. It's been like an hour and a half. But anyways, basically what I was trying to get across and talk about and everything is just kind of what I'm going through right now, but I don't know. But anyways, I'm just trying to work on myself. And I owe that to myself. And it is my God-given birthright. Like, you can't take somebody trying to better themselves away from them. Like, you can try to but by like worldly things and doing worldly shit to corrupt everything and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, if they still want to better themselves, they can. And it's a process. And there's steps to be taken. And all the steps are different for all kinds of other people, And anyways, so I was going to talk about what happened. I don't even know what time it is right now. It's like 12 or something like that, or 1, I don't know. So it wouldn't be technically yesterday, it'd technically be the day before. But anyways, the other afternoon, well, let me back up first. So I moved in with my grandmother, because, I mean, I'm having to work on me. I'm having to work on me. And, I mean, if I have to go away to live in a church or something to do it, then, I mean, that's my calling. But if it's not, then it's not. And that's the thing that irks my nerves kind of so much, is just like people sit there and they talk about their purposes all the time, oh, I know my purpose, or I know part of my purpose, or God called me to do this, or even if it's not a God and, type thing, it's like, oh, well, my reason for this is that, and, and so on and so forth. But I genuinely feel like I'm supposed to help my immediate family, for as far as my mom, my dad, my grandmother, and my sister. But the only bad thing is the definition of help, because they're worldly people. So when I say help, they're like, make money, give it to us. Like, make money, give it to us, be our slave, clean our house for us. Don't talk bad about us ever. Never have an opinion that disagrees with us. Agree with us always. I mean, it's basically like bad. It's like bad. Really, really, really bad. I mean, one time I got mad at my mother when I was living with them. And this was before the first time I ever moved out with my daughter. And anyways, I was like, I'm not a mind reader. Sorry that I didn't know to help. I was taking care of the kids because I had my niece too that I was watching that day. And anyways, I was like, okay, fine, I'm done, and I put my foot down, and I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm not taking nothing from you other than we're living here, and that's it. I was like, I'll eat the WIC food that's provided. And since you say that I don't help you with nothing, I said, I want you to sit here and I was mad. I said, I want you to sit here and I want you to make out a damn list, tell me everything that you want me to do. This woman had me vacuuming 3 times a day. Mopping, it was else twice a day or twice a week. Pledge, not the cheap shit, the real pledge. because, you know, it's the expensive crap or whatever, supposedly. And that's another thing, too, is brand names. But anyways, I had to pledge, you know, I had to dust all the furniture every day. Those were the most absurd. And I think I had to clean her toilet every day. Of course, the other toilet as well. And, I mean, but that's kind of, you know, that's kind of iffy there. But I had to clean out her big ass tub that she had, even though nobody could use it. That was the whole fight of everything anyways, was that I hadn't cleaned her tub and it had collected dust from the bags of saved cans that she had started collecting. And she wanted me to clean it out even though nobody was using it. And I was like, nobody's using it though, because she wouldn't let me use it. I mean, I would clean it if somebody was going to use it. Like, occasionally I'd clean it and give my daughter a bath in there because it was the big tub, you know, so she was little and it was fun, you know, to act like you snorkeling, I guess, or whatever. But other than that, I mean, there was no sense in cleaning that tub weekly when nobody's getting in it except for every 8 months, basically. Because my mom has rheumatoid arthritis real bad, and she couldn't get into the tub, and I couldn't help her into the tub. And even though, yes, I could have, I can't with her mentality, if that makes any sense. And maybe somebody that's worked with people in nursing homes and stuff like that, if they have a mentality of, I'm not going to listen to you, or I'm not going to have any respect for you, and if you tell me to put my foot there or my hand here as you're trying to lift me up, but I don't want to, you know, and I'm sorry, like, if I'm going to lift you up, I need you, it's got to be a team effort, you know. If I'm going to deadlift you, basically, out of the tub, I mean, you got to listen to me. I'm not bullshitting around. But anyways, so back to the present day, I guess you could say. That's just the way my family is, you know. It's like, oh, you know, it's like, money. Give us money. Give us all your time. I mean, I swear, like, if I could cut my wrist and, like, become an old, decrepit, you know, like, thing or whatever, and just shrivel up like they show in the kids' movies, I guess you'd say, like the horror movies slightly or whatever, you know, like, and just, here's the bottle of my youth. You can have it. You know, they would take it. They would. They would. And basically that's just them. And I've accepted it. And I don't want to accept it because I want to accept that people are able to change. But it's really hard when somebody consistently, for 31 years especially, has acted the same way. And I guess that's the reason that I was always so defensive over my kid's father, is because I've only known him since I was like 15, so like 16 years, and like, they're telling me he's never going to change, you know, and I'm like, who are you to judge him? You know, like, I haven't given him 31 years to not change yet, you know, like, you know, or change or not change or whatever, you know, like, but anyways, I mean, I'm not going to give him 30, like, I've done accepted he is who he is, and people are who they are, and you have to accept them at their level, and then you have to learn to try to get along with people and all this and everything. But it sucks if you're the person that's always having to step back, you know, that's the one that's always having to, you know, cower down, I guess, you know, and be like, fine, I'm sorry, fine, I'm wrong, fine, I'm sorry, fine, I'm wrong, for 31 years, you know. Yet you go to other places or situations and you know, you see somebody doing the same thing, you know, like say I went to work and I seen somebody doing something, you know, and I'm like, you're not doing that right. And here, let me show you. And then I show them and they're like, thank you. And they're like, where'd you learn to do that? And I'm like, at school or on training day when I first started here, and you're a new hire, so don't worry about it, you know, or something like that. But anyways, I don't even know. Yeah. I didn't know if I was holding it correctly. That way you could hear me or not. But, with my family, they can do it incorrectly and I can watch them do it. And I've learned to never tell them that they're doing anything incorrectly, because that's like trying to behead the devil and asking him to not try to, you know, fight you back. You know, I mean, it's just kind of inevitable for them to, anyways, I don't know. But, so anyways, I can't, I can't, God can, but I can't figure it. I mean, I'm having to leave it in God's hands. And then I called a place and I said that, and they're like, no, you need to come get religious help, this and that. And while I appreciate that, I was like, boy, you know, maybe you need to work on your faith. You know, that's kind of what went through my head. And I was like, and that's discouraging. But I've watched TBN, which I thought it was Texas, but it's actually Trinity Broadcasting Network. And I've watched all the people that they show on there. And some stuff they say, you know, I disagree with or don't like, but I don't hate them for it. You know, I'm just like, well, that's what they need to work on, you know, like, I can tell they still have stuff to work on, or they're still a work in progress. But anyways, so, moving in with my grandmother. When I moved in with her, it was not out of full, oh shit, desperation. It was just, well, I'm going to work and I don't have enough money to pay my rent and my bills, which granted all I had was my power bill and my groceries I bought. And I have pets that I take care of. And anyways, I was like, I don't have enough money to do that, plus pay my child support that I'm ordered to pay. So I can sit here and just keep on inevitably living alone in an apartment that, you know, I'm not too fond of. I am slightly, but, you know, I mean, and realizing I'm never paying child support. And so therefore I'm never using my money for what I want to use it for. Or I can go down here and live with my grandmother because I don't have a car. And just say shit on it. And just, well, they ain't got no money. Until I make money, until I go out and make money. Well, that's the thing too. I don't have a car. And me and this girl, Jennifer, had come together and talked about things. And we had a plan. And I presented the plan to my grandmother. And anyways, I come here, I guess you'd say, under false pretenses. Or I wouldn't guess you say, I mean, she lied. And I should have, I guess, you know, known she was gonna lie, you know. But I wanted to push to see if, you know, if she might tell the truth. And so anyways, things happened the way that they did, and so things unfolded in a way that I couldn't anticipate. I mean, well, I could slightly, but I was hoping, you know, I was just going like on blind hope but not like faith, you know. I mean, it was still faith, but it wasn't like rooted in God as much as it should have been, I guess you could say. And so I was just like, yeah, she's telling me the truth. But anyways, she told me that if I came here, that if she didn't move out, that she would allow me to be the one to take her to go get her groceries. And even though I don't have a vehicle, how I was going to go about doing that was through this friend Jennifer's car. And Jennifer even did that twice, I think. Yeah, twice. One time it was for a day. One time it was for 3 days that I had Jennifer's car sitting here. And I could use it. And this woman would not go grocery shopping with me. Because she just didn't feel like it. Because she wants her son, my father, to be the one to take her. But then she also wants him to not take her. Like, she's double-minded. And that's from the Bible. So if you think I'm a hateful person for saying that. But anyways, she is. Because she'll sit there and she'll say, I hate the way that he does this and and he gripes at me and he this and he that and he, you know, whenever she gets back from going shopping with him. And then even here lately, she sent him to go get her groceries for her. It's all a ploy, mainly, though, to try to get me to be the one to bow down. And because up until, what was it? I think it's like the past 3 weeks, she's like, well, I wish you'd go with him and get in the car and you'd go get my groceries for me, but I know you ain't gonna do that. But I wish you would. I wish you would, but I know you ain't gonna do that since they took your kid from you. But I wish you would. And she just, it's like on repeat, you know? And it's like, no, I'm not getting in the car with that man ever again as long as I live. Unless he gets right with God. I don't even give a shit if he gets right with me. Because I don't know if anybody can, because that's how broken I feel like I am. But I do believe that I come at things very sensible, regardless of what anybody wants to say about me. But anyways, the whole reason I moved down here is I called my grandmother and I was like, you know, I'll get to where I can borrow her car and I'll take you grocery shopping. That way we don't have to deal with them. And the only way that we have to deal with them is if you want to visit with them, that's fine. But it's not going to be that you're dependent upon them for anything. Like, I'm trying to help you regain your independence through, yes, you using me, but not money way, but here's a car and I can take you, you know. And even eventually, once I get that established, if I would have, then, hey, I can get a job. Hey, I can start paying my child support. I can even pay you a little bit of rent. But she didn't want to go that route. Well, the other route that we had discussed before I moved in was the possibility of her moving out and letting me live here. And the plan was that I was going to live here and Jennifer was going to help me and I was going to have whoever I needed helping me. And it's a lot easier to have people helping you when you don't have somebody going, who's that? What are they doing? Who that knocked on the door? Why are they here? Well, what are they doing? Well, where are you going with them? Well, why are you with and all these 49 questions, and then on top of it, she tries to, like, it's almost like a spider, you know, trying to, well, it's like a spider's web, you know, it's like, oh, well, let me tell you why you're here, because she wants somebody to talk to, and I understand that. I even got mad at her like 6 months ago, and I said to her, because she had this friend that passed away, I think about a year ago or two. No, it's been 2 years ago. And I was just like, why do you think that if I have a friend around that they have to necessarily also be your friend as well? And I said, I never looked at any of your friends throughout my whole life and was like, oh, they're my friend too. Other than maybe one, but that's only because me and her granddaughter were friends, and so it was like all four of us, it was like a group thing, kind of. And that was also my best friend for like 10 or more years. But other than that, I've never looked at one of, her friends or my mom's friends or even my dad's friends and been like, they're my friend too. And I gotta tell them all my stuff too and talk to them all the time and, and stuff. And it's like they want me to respect them. They want me to respect their friendships. Or actually, they haven't been disrespected in their friendships. I haven't clung to their people trying to be friends with them. And so, therefore, they don't know what it feels like to be me. And sometimes I'm just like, God, send somebody to make them feel that way. That way it's like, ding, a light bulb goes off. And then they're like, oh, Heather, I finally, I'm like, epiphany, yay. Sorry, I'm a little bit more kind of in my hyperness or whatever right now. Because I guess... I got a comment on my other video. And that's the thing too, is I got a comment on it. I couldn't even respond back to it or anything. Because it just, whenever I clicked on it, it went to a page and it was like, comments are removed from this video. And I was like, I didn't do that. Or I don't know. Maybe I did set it like, I was like, I don't know. Because that's another thing I noticed too. So I'm going to have to go over the next few days sitting here and going through every single video and putting, no, it's not good for kids, or it's not for kids, or it's not, I don't want kids as my audience. I mean, there's some videos that possibly, especially like ones of my dogs playing that, yeah, kid could watch it, definitely, But that's too much right now. That's just too much right now. And so maybe one day when I'm not as focused on what I need to be doing, maybe I can get back to it and reset it. But anyways, I'm going to be doing that for the next few days probably, on top of other things. But anyways, so what happened is I moved in with my grandmother. We're staying here, And my phone, I couldn't pay for it, and it went out and all that. And I'm sitting here and I'm, just doing a lot of deep thinking and meditating, and reading the Bible and this and that, and listening to preachers and all this. And, well, maybe I shouldn't, and maybe I shouldn't have said, and maybe I shouldn't have did. And, and I mean, I'm always very, and anyways, I'm like, okay, But at the same time, just because I'm not perfect doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of respect. And for some reason, I can't get that through my mother, my father, and my grandmother, and my sister's head. I can't get it through their head at all. And so the other day, I don't even know what we started talking about. Well, let me back up to a month ago. It was like a month ago, or I don't think it was as far as 6 weeks ago. It was like a month ago or 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I sat down with my grandmother. And basically what I'm trying to do with a woman that's double-minded, so she's, you just can't. Yeah, you know, like I need somebody to pray for her to not be double-minded, you know. But anyways, you can ask them, like, you know, like for instance, you know, I mean, just like the situation, me moving in, you know, I'll take you grocery shopping. Yeah, I'd like that, you know. And then I get here and the car's sitting there and I'm like, the car, let's go today. Well, she's letting me keep it for 2 more days now, you know, like 24 hours, anytime. But, anyways, and then that makes me look bad, you know, because it's like, oh, Heather, I mean, that's the way I feel. It's like, oh, Heather, you lied to me. You told me that you needed the car so that way you could take your grandmother grocery shopping. And I'm like, well, she told me she needed to go get groceries. I don't know what to do. But, anyways, so it's all just, it's a manipulation. It's just them trying to control me. They're trying to get me to, I guess, bow down and be like, yes, I was a piece of shit mother. I'm the worst person on the face of the planet. And everybody needs to hate me. And let me lick the toe, you know, like the toe jam out of your toes, you know, because you're my God, you know. And I'm sorry, you're not. I mean, I'll die, you know. I'll die because nobody is my God except for God. And Jesus is Jesus. And nobody's Jesus except for Jesus. And so, oh well, you know. But, so anyways, it's like I feel bad talking about it, kind of, but I don't. But then I do. But, because I want to make sure I'm not going to say anything incorrect, or not incorrect, but I mean, yeah, but shit, not incorrect. I don't know what the word is that I'm thinking of. I want to word things correctly. There we go. I want to word them correctly, and I want it to sound intelligent, and I want it to come across the way I want it to come across, but I'm not practiced enough in that, surprisingly, after all these YouTube videos, and as much as people are like, you talk, supposedly. But then again, not. But I've had people that are higher up that are like, you talk, you know, and it's like, okay, yeah, sure. People see one side of you for an hour or 5 minutes and they're ready to make a judgment. But anyways, and that's what people get paid to do when they're higher up, you know, in the status of things. They get paid to judge. But anyways, so a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I don't know, I sat down with my grandmother trying to get through to her head that I don't think it's healthy. And maybe I should, but I can't say this stuff. It's like, if I pause, they think I'm stupid, you know, if I'm trying to, you know, get it out, you know. It's like a baby trying to learn to crawl, you know. And anyways, so, I'm basically trying to get through to her head, like, is this it? This is it. Is this how you want it to be? You want me to live here like this, and you to live here like this, and this is how you're gonna die, and this is how I'm gonna live until you die, and this is it. Or would you like to do better? Be better? Well, that's the thing, is the answer to what I just said is yes. But the trick of it is she wants to be better. She wants to do better. But she don't give a crap if I'm doing better. She don't give a crap if it's benefiting me in any way, as long as it's benefiting her. And see, that was the whole manipulation, too, of everything. She apparently thought that I was going to move in, that I was going to work, that Jennifer was going to help me get a job and a car, and that the car would be there, parked outside, I guess, so that way she could feel the independence, like up under her fingernails, Heather will drive me anywhere, like, what is it, driving Miss Daisy, if I want to go, but I'm going to then make my son feel like, I pick you because you're more important to me than Heather, or something. I pick you to take me for my groceries, but if you ever piss me off, it's all this control. If you ever make me mad, so mad, then I'll get Heather to take me, And so anyways, and she thought I was just going to, hand over certain amounts of money for living here. And I can't even control anything here, and there's no compromise. It's like moving in with a roommate that's like, this is my fridge, or set this over here, and you're like, no, I like it here. Like, there's no compromise, the heat, the air, the this, the that, it's just up and down and up and down. And, and every time she'll say something that you're like, oh, wait, so now you care if I'm too hot or too cold? Now I can cut the heat up or down or whatever. And you go in there and do it. And you start to get comfortable with it. About 3 days into getting comfortable with, hey, I can actually feel like a respected human. I'm too hot, I'm burning up, or whatever. Then she's like, it's just too cold, or it's just too hot in here, and I can't believe in my power bill, and it's just all this. I mean, it's just like negative, festering water, that's, I don't know. But anyways, so I sat and trying to talk with her, because I don't want this situation to be like it is. And I don't think God wants me to sit here for 5 to 10 years, I don't see that. I mean, maybe 5, but sure as heck, like, I can feel that, like, not even 5. I don't think God wants me to sit here and be stagnant. I don't think He wants that from anybody. I mean, yes, to a degree, He wants you to think and take things slower and contemplate and be more cautious and stuff. But for as far as doing the same thing every day for 10 and 20 and 30 years, no, He don't want you doing that. It's like we're here to experience this, whatever this is. If we don't experience it, we're never going to grow from it and grow past it. But anyways, so I sat and tried to talk with her about that. And we got on the topic of my daughter. And I just reacted. I mean, I just raw reacted like I have before on here. And I just burst out crying. And I said, I just want to, I don't know, I said it like 3 or 4 times, like, not screaming it, but almost screaming it, you might as well say. And I was just like, I just want to die. I just feel like I want to die. I just feel like I want to die. And I'm sitting on one end of the couch, bawling my eyes out. And she's just sitting there on the other end of the couch, just basically like staring at me. Occasionally, but also turning away and looking at the TV and possibly even smoking her cigarette. And then she says to me, well, Heather, I don't know what to do for you. And that's the thing, is it's like the blatant disrespect to lie. again. Because that's the problem anyways, is the way that you lie. And even when the conversation of a lie comes up, she gets real defensive. We'll just say that. And she's like, well, everybody lies. Everybody lies. Everybody lies. I mean, she'll just keep on hammering that in, you know. And I've hammered back as much as I can, you know, but not as much as her, because it's just exhausting. But I've been like, yeah, everybody does lie. You even lie, she'll say to me, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm like, I try not to. And I'm like, I did when I was a little girl. And I'm like, but, you know, and I'm thinking, I learned this at a young age. How can you live this long and not have learned this already? Not have learned that lying makes you feel like shit, basically. I mean, yeah, you know, if you lie, it might make you feel better, like short term and on the outside, but it just kind of erodes away at your insides, you know, like, and so why do it? But anyways, so I was sitting talking with her, and I got to crying. I'm sitting there crying. And she says, well, I don't know what to do for you, Heather. And I was like, oh, I didn't ask you what to do, you know, whatever, you know. And she's like, well, I don't know what to do. You know, she starts getting ill, and I'm like, well, I don't know, you know, like, because I just want to, part of me just wants to scream at her, you know, well, stop being such a double-minded person, you know. Like, be bold, you know. And it's like, that's the thing, though, is if I scream that at her, you know, then, I mean, I'm rotten and I'm from the depths of hell, you know, and I have had an angry outburst, and, you know, and I'm, you know, supposedly every nasty thing up under the sun, moon, and stars, you know, because that's the way I was when I was a kid, is I'd get so tired of them. And I mean, I'd say it to them, you know, and I'd be like, well, if you wouldn't, but I'd say it up under my breath, but to a point they could hear me, and I'd be like, well, if you wouldn't damn lie so fucking much, you know, if you wouldn't lie all the goddamn time, they'd just look at me like they's gonna kill me, you know. But, so it's not that the wisdom's not there, it's that the effort is not put in. So anyways, I'm sitting there crying, and she's like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I don't know, you know. And I'm like, I'm not asking you to do anything. And I was like, you know, and I thought to myself, you know, I'm thinking to myself, God, how can you sit there like that? I mean, if I seen my granddaughter sitting, bawling her eyes out, crying, I'm not just going to sit there and say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm going to grab her. And I don't mean it in a hateful, negative way. But I'm going to grab her. I'm going to squeeze her so tight to me. I'm going to put her head, you know, right here. And and hell, if she can sit in my lap and, you know, like, you know, and let me baby her for a few minutes and be like, honey, I'm so sorry. And I'll do anything that I can to help you and actually mean what I say. Not be double-minded about it. But anyways, that's the way I would react. And so, I mean, but to lower my standard so much that I'm supposed to expect for you to sit there and I don't know. But it gets even worse. What happened is we're sitting there and I'm crying. And she's like, she gets mad, you know. Well, I don't know what to do. You know, she hollers out again as I'm just sitting there trying to straighten myself up, you know, and stop crying and breathe. Because I get on the verge of hyperventilating and stuff when I cry. Because I used to have to. Anyways, I had to shut up. I'll just put it like that when I was little. And so that still catches in me sometimes. And I have to tell my brain to tell my mouth that it can, like I can breathe, But, so anyways, she said, I don't know what to do. And she said, Heather, if you don't stop crying. And here I am, I'm like trying to suck it up, Heather, if you don't stop crying, I'm fixing to call the police. And when she said that, I mean, it just dried me up real quick because it made me so mad, And because my logic kicks in, like logically, like you're going to call the cops on me because I'm crying. And I said it to her. I said, you're going to call the cops on me because I'm crying? And she goes, well, yeah, because I don't know what to do. And I said, well, I ain't asking you to do anything. And I said, my God, I said, you going to call the cops on me because I'm crying? I said, see, it's stuff like that. And she goes, well, Heather, how do you think it makes me feel to sit here and see you like that? My heart's racing. And I was like, you think mine isn't? And I said, you think mine isn't now after I'm sitting here crying and you say you're going to call the cops on me? I was like, my God, and I went out on the front porch for a few minutes and I was just like, mind blown. And then I was like, okay, just go back to your room and say fuck it. And so that's what I did. I just came back here, and for like 2 days me and her just passed each other and didn't say nothing and stuff like that. Well, what happened just the other day now that was like weeks ago, but what happened just the other day is the cops did get called on me. Because again, here I go. It's like a once a month type thing. Like I'm tired of being stuck in the mud, And so I sat down with her that morning or early afternoon. And I'm trying to talk to her about things. And she's getting mad, and she's saying all kinds of hateful, little negative remarks. And so finally I'm like on the verge of fixing to else go back to my room and do it again. Go back to my room and do it again. Go back to my room and do it again. Like I have for 31 years. Go and hide so that way they can have their way. So that way they can feel comfortable and cozy. And so instead of doing that, because I'm tired, I thought, okay, the only way I can get through to them is if I react like them. Well, my dad throws the trash can and chairs and shit around the house and all kinds of stuff. Well, she was sitting in the living room on the couch when we'd started talking. And I was sitting at the dining room table talking to her. Well, she kept on. She started saying mean and hateful stuff, and I was fixing to be like, okay, fine, and just go back to my room. But instead, something inside of me, I was like, try. Try to break this, off of, try to make the light bulb go on in her head, and that's the thing is they respect each other because of this. This is how my mom and my dad and my sister and my grandmother respect each other, is through their angry outbursts that they allow each other to have, and they go, oh, well, they just had a bad day at work, or they just did some that, well, it's okay. They do that to each other. But with me, they don't. So, sitting at the dining room table, I stand up, I'm fixing to go back to my room, and I just pick up, the dining room chair, probably about maybe 4-5 inches off the floor, and I bang it against the table. And I let it hit the floor after I bang it against the table. And as soon as I did that, she goes, you son of a bitch! And I was, just kind of there, but I've dealt with this before, and I was like, you're one too, And she's like, I swear. I can't do the yelling. But I swear if you broke something on that table, I'm going to have you evicted. And she called me something else. And she's standing up by this time and done took like one step towards me. Like, I'm still just standing there plain as day, you know, like, bam, there's your chair, and she's like, you son of a bitch, and I'm grateful that, it kind of came to me to be like, you're one too, because I hadn't done that in a long time, and it makes them, kind of, what, I'm one too, for a split second, but it's like it still don't penetrate anyways, so, she called me something else. I don't know what it was. She might just called me a son of a bitch again. And I leaned in. I might have took a half a step. But I don't even think I did. I think I just lifted my foot and kind of leaned in towards her. And I was like, well, you're one too. And then she goes, Heather, I'm not having this. I'm not doing this. I'm not having this. And I said, you think I want to have this? You think I want to be like this? I said, you're wrong. I said, I don't. I said, that's the reason I'm trying. And I try to talk to you. And about that time, I think it was, she flicked her damn cigarette at me. Yeah, she flicked her damn cigarette at me. I might have had it backwards when I told the cops. Cops came out. But anyways, she flicked her damn cigarette at me, and it landed right there in the floor in front of me, and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm going to call the cops. And I'm like, okay, or I'm going to have you evicted. Either way, one of them. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, go ahead. Start doing it. And I was like, call them. Do what you got to do, I was like, go ahead. And I'm still standing in the kitchen with a damn cigarette lit, laying on the damn linoleum floor, and her in there in the in the living room. And so, she'd flicked the cigarette at me, and I was like, fine, call you. And she's like, I'm going to have you evicted. Because I was like, what are you doing? When she threw the cigarette. And she's like, I'm going to have you evicted. And I was like, fine, dude, the phone's there. And she's like, I'm going to call the cops. And then I'm going to tell them. And this is what just... If I wasn't a good person, if I wasn't a kind person, if I were some psycho bitch from the depths of hell, it would have went a whole lot different. Thank you, Stephen. Or is it Stephen or Steve? Steve? I don't know. Furtick. But anyways, it could have been a whole lot different. But anyways, she flicked her cigarette, and I'm like, what are you doing, And she's like, I'm going to call and have you evicted. I'm going to call the cops. So whenever she said that, I was like, fine, do it. And then she goes, and I'm going to tell them that you And before she said shoved, she caught herself and she said, and I'm going to tell them that you did it. And that you tried to light the house on fire and burn the house down. And I was like, and I was just like, and I was just mad, but I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then I was like, well, there's the phone. And so I stepped on the cigarette and put it out on the floor. And I was like, well, there's the phone. Do it. Do it. And she's just standing there. And I'm like, do it. Do it. It's like, please, for once, show me that you're not a coward, basically. And I hate to say that, but I'm mad. I get riled up in my stories. But show me. At least show me that you're brave about something, even if it's wrong. Show me who you are. Stop pretending. You're else a bad person or a good person. And she showed me, in my opinion. But anyways, so I was like, show me, I was like, call, go ahead and call. Well, she's just standing there. So I went to go get the phone. Well, the phone is on the end table back behind where she's standing, where she got up from her seat. And I go and I kind of put my knee on the middle cushion to reach over to get it. And she's just, she just bows up, and is standing there and is standing there and is going, I'm going to tell him that you pushed me. I'm going to tell him that you shoved me. I'm going to tell him. And I'm like, I don't care, And I grab the phone and I'm standing there about 2-3 foot in front of her, but I'm still like towards the entrance back to the kitchen because I'm not trying to threaten her. And that's I guess that's what the devil does to people, is it makes them feel like they're being threatened when they're not. But anyways, I'm like, here, call. So anyways, she didn't call or grab the phone or anything. And so she's just like, I can't handle this. And she starts to walk around the table to go out, the coffee table. And when she's like, I can't handle this, I took the phone and I slammed it down on the bar. And I just went back to my room. And I called my dogs back. And so I'm sitting here in my room. And then that's what made me activate my phone, is I was like, well, I got a little bit of money. I can activate my phone. And I can try to find a church to go to find somebody to talk to. Because actually, my first thing was I came back here and I sat here for a few minutes, tried to calm myself. And I put on my jacket and I went over to the neighbors and knocked on their door. Because I was like, I just want somebody to talk to. And I was like, I just want, like 15 minutes of your time to tell you, and to cry and to get it out of me, to move on past it, But anyways, they didn't answer the door, so I come over here and I was like, well, maybe I can find a church, or something, or somebody to talk to. So I cut my phone on because I don't have a phone for the house back here. And she knows that, and she kind of likes it and uses it, tries to use it to her advantage. But then it's like, this will still call 911 if I need to be, okay? Like, calm down with your little high society act there about that. But anyways, and she's like, it will, even if you don't have service? And I'm like, yeah, it will. That right there shows you, like... But anyways, so I went to the neighbors first. And they didn't, and I went and sat out in this chair that's out in the yard for a few minutes because it's cold outside and trying to cool off. Then I come back in, and then I was like, okay, I'll just activate my phone. So I'm looking for my phone. Well, couldn't find it. And I thought, did she take it in there in her room with her? Well, I don't want to ask her, so I'm like walking around trying to look for it, can't find it, can't remember the last time I had it, but because before I even talked to her, I gave one of the dogs a bath, and I'm like, was it in my back pocket or not, and I'm like trying to remember where my phone's at, and anyways, I went and finally gave up and knocked on the door to her bedroom. She's like, I'm on the phone, and the way she says it, it's just, those people that do stuff like that, and so I'm like, well, have you seen my phone? And she just blatantly ignored me. And she's like, yeah, she said, she did, she said, like, that was the things is like, she said she did, and I know she's talking to somebody about me. And the fact that she's saying it the way she's saying it, I know it's not a family member. So I'm like, shit. And I just come back to my room. I'm like, oh, heck on it. And so I'm just sitting here and I'm just like minding my own business. And of course, a car pulls up outside. And then my grandmother hollers at me about 10 minutes later, I guess. And she's like, Heather. Heather, in her little sweet old woman voice. I'm sorry, but I feel like it's all an act, and she's like, Heather, the sheriff's here and wants to talk to you, I'm like, okay. I'm like, girls, to my dogs, I'm like, get on the bed so I can go out. I went out, and because the way the accusations come at me from my mom, my dad, my sister, and my grandmother, he's like, what's going on here? And I'm like, I did this and I did that. And as I'm starting to tell it, I'm just crying. I just start crying. I'm like, I know what I did wrong. And, I mean, I'm crying, you know. And then the thing is she says to him at one moment in time, she's like towards the end, because they were here for God. I mean, they had to put up with us for like 30 minutes. I kind of feel a little sorry for them now thinking about it. But anyways, hell, they might have been here an hour. But, and that's the thing too, is she'd done talked to them. And I come out and they're asking me what's going on. And as soon as I started, I mean, she just interrupted me. That's my mom, that's my dad, that's my sister, that's my grandmother. That's the way that they do me. And then because they do it to me, I feel like a tug inside of me sometimes, like I want to do it to them, even though I know it's not right, you know. But, she mentioned how I'm supposed to be going to counseling, and whenever she said that, I mean, I'm sitting here already bawling my damn eyes out and everything, you know. And, anyways, he's like, are you supposed to be going to counseling? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I don't, we got on the topic of my dad for a split second, but anyways, I was like, yeah. And he's like, he asked me, the sheriff did, he's like, were you supposed to be taking any medicine? You know? And I thought, stereotypical, you know, like, just like, oh my damn, you know, like in the back of my head, I'm just like, really? You know, like my sister says, because that's the way my sister does whenever she's like being a smart ass and funny at the same time. That's where I got it from, you know, really, you know, like, but I can hear her, you know, like, from all the years, you know, and so that's where I picked it up from. But anyways, I'm just like, oh my God, you know. And I'm still like crying, and then that makes me cry even worse because it makes me feel like I'm completely and totally alone. The last thing is like the last little bit I try to mention to him about how if we can't get along, like me and her, like, but I can't move out, and she's going to be okay with, well, she's my granddaughter and I understand. I mean, it's her choice if she wants to be okay with it or not. And if she don't, then she can have me evicted. But if she does, then she can leave me alone and let me, you know, stay back here and do what I need to do to sort my things out. But anyways, I was like, well, I can get on food stamps and I can get food for just me. And it's like, here she even with them, she was like, well, how you gonna get there? Because that's the thing that she says to me all the time, like real smart ass ways. Well, how you gonna get there? You know? And the guy comes back and he's like, with the transit bus, you know? And I thought, yeah, I mean, if they'll take me. And I was like, will they take me? Because last time I called transit, which, I mean, it's been a few years back, but they was like, no, we don't do stuff like that. And then they told me that they don't do anything for people that don't have Medicaid, you know. And, I mean, I don't have a lot of money to, you know, be going places and stuff, but the transit bus is sure a hell of a lot cheaper, because I looked it up today. It's sure a hell of a lot cheaper than the damn cabs are. But I was like, I can get on food stamps. I can prepare my own meals, you know, and I can sit back here and eat, and I can do my own dishes. And because that's the thing, is she was sitting there with that sheriff and she's like, I do all the cooking and I do all this, you know, and I do all that and everything. And I was just like, this is the problem with my whole family, is they're like, Heather, we can do what you can do for yourself. Don't you appreciate it? No, I would appreciate the stuff that I can't do, that you else help me with it. Or if you can't help me with it, then at least leave me alone when I'm trying to do it. And the same even goes for the stuff that I do know how to do. Because even if, like, they know I know how to cook, and I'm cooking, they want to tell me, they want to like, oh, I think you should add some more salt to that. Oh, I think you should do your dishes now. Oh, I think you should this. But I have to end it here or I'm going to lose this video. But at least I finally got it out, what's been going on. But I hope everybody's doing good. Take care. Got any comments, drop them down below. I'll try to respond, get back to them whenever I can. And I have no idea when I'll do my next video. So, take care. Bye.